Unless you were buried in Anaconda. Oh.
Are you from the area? That was fast. Okay.
Are you from Anaconda?
Are these buildings your home? Okay.
Hey guys, what is going on? Troy here, and headed to another investigation. Well, a mini investigation anyway. I'm in Anaconda, Montana, heading over to Gunslinger Gulch. I happen to be in Anaconda for something else a little bit earlier for our other YouTube channel, and I happened to contact Karen and say, hey, I'm going to be out there. Would it be possible to come out and visit with you and maybe visit with Gunslinger a little bit? And she's very gracious and said yes. And she's been wanting to chat with me since my last trip out there. I haven't been able to get out here since. I'll put a link up top for the previous investigation here. We had doors opening, we had disembodied voices. There was a moment where I'm not sure what happened. There was some weirdness that happened at the Gulch, and so I'd really like to go out and explore it more. I'm gonna do a full investigation in a week, but right now, let's do this and I'll get a stripe across my face, I bet. Right now I just want to go out and try a few things. You know, I want to sort of lay some groundwork before I head out there next week and see what happens tonight, and if that translates into anything next week. And I also wanted to check out the Spirit Talker app. It's one you do a Google search, and there's a lot of people say, yep, it's good, no, it's terrible, it's AI, it's the microphone on your phone, it's, you know, whatever it is. I've had some decidedly mixed results with Spirit Talker. Some that it really seems relevant, and we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see if we get anything that's relevant tonight, and then I'll tell you what I think about the whole thing. That's what I got for you right now. I'm driving up there. We're about half a mile away. Let's return to Gunslinger Gulch.
Is there anyone here that was present when Troy came to visit last time? It's just us, so you can come out and talk to us.
All right, guys, I'm going to break in now as we're going through the evidence here. This coming up here, it's the Spirit Box. It's admittedly a little bit annoying to listen to. If you want to fast forward to later in the video, you can't handle it. I get it, but you're going to miss some cool stuff. And now a Spirit Box, at its base level, what it really is a radio. It's a digital radio. It's scanning through the frequencies very, very quickly. And I like to, and this is Karen's that we're using here, she likes to as well, run it backwards. That will help prevent you from confusing an actual radio broadcast with something coming through. And that's the theory. And all of this stuff is theory, right? You know, people say, well, it's not science. I guess not. You know, it ultimately, it's theory, and we're working to try to prove something. And so the theory is that spirits can manipulate the white noise and come through the radio signal. Now, with this running very quickly, I spent a lot of years in radio myself. You can tell generally what's radio. It's going to be a few quick blurps. You'll kind of hear it here and there, just a blip of music. There's not a whole lot of signal out where we're at doing this, so that helps. And also, like I said, running it backwards, you're not going to get any words that sound like words because things are going backwards. So let's check this out, the Spirit Box.
I'm curious how many spirits are here sort of regular, and how many are, I guess, transient. Like, I got the feeling last time that there was some passing through feeling.
You get a lot of passing through transients.
Just, it looks familiar, and, you know.
We've had that before where those being calm. See that dark spirit that we face. One of those being calm. See that dark spirit that we have. He's pretty easy to pick up.
It's okay to come out and talk to us. It's just a few of us.
I don't know what that was.
I mean, who is the female that came through?
Two syllables.
Where are you in the room?
There you go.
It stopped and then it came back on.
Yeah.
Can you step away from the ball and make it go off?
I got the needle stand so it can't roll or anything. So if you set that off again, I'll leave it for, I'm going to come back next week. I'll leave it for you to play with it for a whole week. I'll leave it in here, but you got to set it off again. You got to touch it, and the lights will go off again.
Okay, a quick interruption into the spirit box here to explain what you're about to see. I'd like to ask, especially at places that get more investigators, and Gunslinger Gulch is starting to get more investigators come through. It's always the same questions, right? It's, what's your name? How did you die? Why are you here? What year are you from? It's the stuff we want to know. It's interesting stuff. But the spirits there, if there are spirits there, are hearing the same thing every time from every person. So I like to throw something new in the mix, maybe see if that can elicit some sort of response. And so one of my standards, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Just a random question. And so I ask it here and didn't hear any real response, so kind of make a joke about it. And seems like whatever was on the other side didn't necessarily like either my question or my joke.
The easy one. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Maybe you don't like ice cream. Lactose intolerant. That must be rough. What is it that you want us to know? Is there something you want to tell us? I'm getting, it's that cold out there that I'm getting goosebumps all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cold out. It was like 70 degrees today.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is outside now, but
Yeah, I'm getting chills.
Really chilly a minute ago. Now it's gonna warm up, and you're doing that.
Now listen as Karen is about to shut off the spirit box. We've noticed out the window that the horses got out, and they saw the horses. I looked over because my back was to the windows. I looked over and I saw the tail end. I saw a couple goats go by, and so I asked, what's going on? She says, Mary's out. Who's Mary? Is that the goat? No, it's the horse. And so she's shutting it off. They're going to go outside. They're going to get the animals, right? As soon as she turns off the spirit box, I say, I saw a goat. Listen right after that. You'll hear, and then we'll come back.
tell you what, I'm gonna move this. Maybe it's too close to us.
That makes it feel weird.
Mary's out.
Mary's a goat, man.
Mary's the horse.
I saw a goat. I saw a goat. All right, you heard that one, right? I don't think that was necessarily an EVP. Generally, that's something that we didn't hear at the time, but somehow was recorded on the machine. This, I think we would have been able to hear at the time. We just didn't hear it. I think this is a disembodied voice. Now, I have a history of disembodied voices being recorded, being heard at Gunslinger Gulch, and sounding much the same as what we heard here. And if you note, there's a tone to it, and there's almost an echo to it. It's a heavier sound. It's not whispery. It sounds like a voice. I think we had it a little bit earlier in the session too. You heard a little bit of a murmur there. This one's pretty clear. I can't understand what's going on with it, but it's certainly there. And there are three of us in the room. There are three of us on the ranch at the time. It was none of us.
That was me that set it off just then. Okay, I'm going to go outside for a minute. If you want to set that ball off while I'm outside. And I will set a recorder going. Maybe we can hear your voice. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Was it... I'm getting crazy shivers right now. And the door's closed. So it's not... use my phone. I'm holding this audio, so it's not going to be clear. I set this down, it might set that off. Okay. All right, could you do that again? Were there just too many people in here? Was that making you nervous? Want me to back up a little bit? I'll move. Is this far enough away? There's a recorder is what we call it. I don't know if that's something you're familiar with, but right next to the thing with the blinking light. Won't hurt you, but you could possibly say your name or talk into it. We may be able to later hear you. What was that? You could possibly say your name or talk into it. We may be able to later hear you. What was that?
All right, yeah, you saw it there. I didn't know what it was at the time. I knew it was behind me. I knew it was loud. The door just slammed shut. It must have been a couple inches from being all the way closed. There were barely a breeze on this day. I checked with Karen, who was outside at the time, who would know better, and she said no, there was no kind of wind, anything like that. Certainly nothing that would have forced that closed that quickly, that aggressively. That was a quick door shut. You can't dismiss the fact that it could have been wind, but none of us noticed any kind of wind there in the moment, and it was just sort of it was surprising. I don't know, but again, a history of doors opening and closing at Gunslinger, so this fits with the pattern.
Are you in here somewhere? Can you make a noise again? Let me know where you are. I'll turn on, you know what? Let me turn on something else here. All right, so I'm going to turn this on. Now in the video, you won't be able to hear it when it comes on because it's pumping straight into my ears, into my my hearing aids. But I'll tell you if it says anything. I'll come around back here. I'll show you. We got the Spirit Talker running. So this, if you're not familiar, has words in it, and you can select words. I don't know if you can see that. I died in the war. Okay. Is that accurate? Did you die in the war? Can you confirm that for me? Or how did you die? This, we talked about the app on the way up here, guys. It doesn't have access to the microphone. You have to grant permissions for apps to have location, the GPS, microphone, all of that. And when you download it, there's no permissions granted. You can turn airplane mode on. There's no signal out here anyway. But you can turn that on. So, you know, it doesn't know where you are. It doesn't have any of that information. That said, the conversation is, you know, can spirits use this, can manipulate this and say things? My name is Mildred, it says. I've never gotten that one before on here. Some of the things that come through on here feel like Scrabble, right? Like word salad. Doesn't make sense. But then there are other times when it absolutely fits. But, you know, so far I don't know. I died in the war. My name is Mildred. So far nothing is connecting to this place. So can you... Light went off. And you can see it on the... You set that off. So I'm going to leave that here. I'll pick it up next week. Okay, next Friday. And then maybe we can do another deal and I can leave it again for longer. Okay. So you like the ball, that's cool. Can you tell, is your name Mildred that came through on here? If your name is Mildred, can you set the ball off again? Because I know you know how to do that. Your name, it says your name. My name is Troy. I've been here before. I had permission to come from Karen. Karen lives here. She's outside working with some of the animals right now. Gives us a chance to chat. So, my name is Troy. What is your name? Is it Mildred? Can you say that again on here or light the ball up to tell me yes? What is it? I'm going to call you Mildred right now because I don't have another name. What is it that you're doing here? Or can I call you Millie? I think that's a cool nickname. Did anybody call you Millie? You said you died in the war. If you did, again, what war? And how? Okay, was that a yes? We're lighting off the ball for yes? So you died in the war? I'll back up a little bit, Mildred. Give you your space. I don't want to crowd you. I don't like being crowded. The cat ball, guys, is one of my favorite tools. It's so simple, but you have to touch that or it has to move. It's motion activated. It's a cat ball. It's a cat toy. And now I've got that little wooden stand, so it can't roll around. So it can't be set off just because it's on an uneven surface. It's stationary. So I like adding that aspect, even when I know I can see it didn't move. Now I know it's not moving. So there is no other way for that thing to go off. Other than, I guess, potentially vibrations on that surface, right? But it has to be pretty strong. It is getting colder in here, guys. Like, the temperature outside's not really dropping. It's still nice out. And it's colder than it was in here. Are you changing the temperature a little bit just by being in here? Are you pulling energy out? Is that change? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So, okay. So you can impact the temperature. Is that what you're doing? I don't have like I said, I didn't bring my full kit. I don't have a digital thermometer. But it's definitely getting chillier in here. You guys left and we started having a little chat. Like, as soon as you left.
Usually how it goes. Every time I leave her, everything starts happening to her.
I got the name Mildred. I don't know if that means anything.
Not that I'm aware of.
And there you
I
go.
wonder if that's anything to do with Mildred.
But I got that name on here.
That's strange. Yeah, I've never.
And then it asked for my name. And it started to feel cold in here again.
Huh.
I was religious. Started to get cold in here again, and I was talking about, is that you? Are you drawing energy to do this? And we got, yes, I can. So some pretty direct.
Yeah, all the names out here that I'm aware of, I don't know.
It's a weird name to, and there it goes again.
Oh, it seems to be responding to it.
Mildred, does that mean anything to you? I got it on.
What? Mildred came up the other night with Donna.
Okay, because that's just an uncommon name.
I got those chills now. All right.
And we've said Mildred a couple. It's gone off. I got on here. My name is Mildred.
We got the name Mildred the other night, and we were like,
Okay.
well, that's a name we haven't had before.
Coming through, was it a spirit box or was it?
Through a spirit talker.
Okay.
Mildred, that's your name?
Hi, Mildred. I was religious.
I can't even get to set it off from just walking, so.
It started I was telling him, as soon as you guys went out the door, like literally, you closed the door and then it started going off.
Started going off?
Yeah.
Of course.
Window.
What about the window? Is there something we're looking for? Or are you talking about us seeing the horses come through the window and that's why we left?
Yeah. Where is my body? Mildred says.
Oh, I wish we could help you with that.
And that I don't know that.
Not sure. Unless you were buried in Anaconda. Oh, then maybe.
What is your last name, Mildred?
I can never get last names on this thing. But I mean, it's a word bank, right? So how about, okay, Mildred, pick a word out of here that starts, okay. Pick a word out of this machine that starts with the same letter as your last name. Let's try that. If your last name isn't in here, give me a word that starts with the same letter. That'd give us something.
Because I'm not aware of any Mildred unless she belonged to the.
She could just be passing through.
She could be. Yeah.
Are you from the area, Mildred? I'll wait till that goes off. Okay, so are you from the area? That was fast. Okay.
If she's related to any of these buildings.
We'll wait for it. Step away from it. We'll wait for it to go. Okay.
Are you from Anaconda?
I don't know what that means. That's the weirdest thing I've ever got on here. Lead sprinkler. Or lead. It says lead when it read it to me, but
That is kinda,
look like lead sprinkler. That's the most random.
that is pretty random. Was one of these buildings your home? Okay.
Step away from it and turn it off.
Was it?
What's that box?
Well, there's a lot of boxes.
Do you want to talk to us, Mildred? We can turn on the box and then we can hear you talk.
There's a little box that with the red light that's blinking. Remember we talked about that. That can record images. And then there's another little box next to it with a red light that just stays on. It's recording audio. It might be able to record your voice if you talk into it loudly. Neither one of them, nothing in here will hurt you. We can knock. Okay. All right, Millie, I have a feeling we're done. Are we done? Visual, yeah, there's the machine that will record visual. It said Mildred again. So not Millie, maybe am I offending you by going with Millie? I apologize if that's the case. So Mildred it is.
I know.
We tried before, but didn't get a word.
Get over here.
Can you pick a word that starts with the same letter as your last name? Can you do that for me? Taunt. Okay, well, I hope you don't think I'm taunting you, because I'm not. I by using that nickname, I hope that wasn't how it was received. Failed. Okay, so I guess that didn't work. I didn't intend to, but I failed. Is that what you're saying? I apologize, Mildred. All right, what do you say, Mildred? Are we finished up? I feel like it's getting kind of slower. Are we using up our time here? There we go. We lit off the ball again. So thank you. We're definitely going to leave that in here for you, and I'll leave it turned on. So if that means we're done, Mildred, I really appreciate you taking time to chat with me. Chat with all of us. You're more than welcome to stay here, of course. I'm going to be back next week. And I'll try and talk with you again, okay? I enjoyed the chat. So we'll call it off, okay, Mildred? We got one more, like, light it off if you're done, so.
Okay.
I think late.
Mildred's done?
It's late. She's late.
Right now, we wrapped up and then we went across the street and tried to do a quick session upstairs in the boarding house. There historically is a lot of activity up there. Downstairs in the boarding house is where I've had a pretty remarkable experience. We tried some stuff upstairs. Didn't seem like we were really getting anything. It was relatively quiet. But listening back as we were running through the spirit box, I decided just sort of randomly, spur of the moment, it just popped into my head. Let's try this game with holding up a few fingers and having whatever's in their guess, right? How many fingers am I holding up? I don't know, something I've never tried, thought it would be interesting. I try things to get a specific response so that you can't confuse it or try to force an answer to fit, right? And so how many fingers am I holding up? We didn't hear it at the time. It seemed like the game maybe was a flop, but in retrospect, listening to the spirit box, I think we actually had some answers coming through. Check it out.
Tell you what, okay, I've never tried this before. I'm holding up fingers behind my back. Can you tell me how many fingers I'm holding up? I'm curious if you can see us. Just give us the number. How many numbers or how many fingers? Just give us the number. How many numbers or how many fingers? Just give us the number. How many numbers or how many fingers? Let's do it again. Let's try it again. Different number. How many fingers?
All right, and that was the end of a couple hours, I think. I was there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that was long enough. They'd had a long day of work, and I didn't want to impose any further, and I'm headed back. And so it was fun to go out there and chat with them and chat with Gunslinger. I said, we were going to check out Spirit Talker and see how it fared. I think we got some pretty relevant responses out there, guys. I don't know if they all were, but there was some pretty relevant stuff. And, we got My Name is Mildred. And then, as I noted on the video, I've never gotten anything twice, let alone a repeated name during the same session. We got Mildred again. I think, as you saw in the video there, maybe I was offending a little bit with insinuating, here's your nickname. I don't think they like the nickname. And so we're going to stick with Mildred. But it seemed pretty direct, right? I mean, talking about, hey, it's getting colder. We got the response to that. And it was corresponding with the cat ball going off too. So we sort of had corroborating evidence going on at the same time. We were talking about Mildred, the cat ball went off. And so it's interesting. I still don't know if we can trust Spirit Talker 100%, but I think it's like any other tool. I think a spirit can manipulate it, just like it can, if it chooses to, manipulate the ceiling lights, or shut a door, knock on a wall, whatever. I think there's the ability to interact, and so I think it's just another tool that allows the chance for interaction. You have to take everything coming out of Spirit Talker with you got to look at it through the lens of, is this real? You got to be a little bit skeptical and make sure that it fits the situation. But I think it can work. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on, how scientific or unscientific are some of these tools that we use. What are the best tools to use? And Spirit Talker or any other app or word bank that you have used or seen used, do you trust it? I don't know. I'm curious about your thoughts. So thanks for hanging out with us for this one. It was a really cool investigation, and I'm excited to go back to Gunslinger Gulch.